Hey, welcome guys to the final episode of The Perfect Grow. Today it's gonna be all about trimming, storing and curing your buds. Let's go. Welcome back to The Perfect Grow, where we teach you on how to grow cannabis perfectly. Finally, it's time to see the results of our weeks of long and hard work. And not so hard for the people that had the automated system. So let's teach Tyne and you all on how to snip some buds. Let's get started. So as you can see, the plants have made very big flowers, have a lot of white pistils coming out everywhere, and we can also see that some pistils are turning brown. In this stage, the plant only produces flowers, doesn't produce any leaves, will not vegetate anymore, won't get much taller, will not create more branches, and this is pretty much what's gonna be at the end of the cycle. The flowers will be bigger, but the whole canopy should be exactly the same. Right now, the plants needs the more P and K nutrients in order to produce the biggest flower possible. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna do all about trimming your bud, how to do that, how to properly store them, and how to put a humidity pack to make it happen. So this is pretty much the results we got from Tyne. Beautiful bud, you can see full of trichromes, the sugar leaf, they're just like so crystally. But the point now is we're gonna remove all those tiny sugar leaves and we're gonna only have the nice nugs around here. So the first step on this will be taking off the branches. So you put your flowers just right there, you snip a branch, and the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna start cutting all the small leaves that are around. So the small leaves is gonna fall off and it's gonna reveal a nice flower. And once this flower is ready and without leaf, you can put it to store. This is what we call trimming. Normally you do it with gloves, but because we're here with Tyne, we're gonna use everything we've got on our top of our fingers to make a really nice ash joint. So this is what it looks like after a little bit of trimming. You get a top nugs that looks really round, beautifully shaped, and look at that, it's just full of trichromes. You cannot smell it, but it smells so gassy and delicious. Man, can't wait to smoke that. So once you have reached that stage, you take your flower, you open your jar, and you just snip it, and it falls down there, and you close back your jar. That's pretty much it, and you go back to the second little bud that was just underneath, and you do your cuttings just right there, snipping it around, making a nice little nugs, removing all those leaves around, and when you're ready, once again, you open your jar and you snip your flowers straight in your jar. We've got more than 600 grams to do, so I'm gonna ask Tyne to come and help me out because this is no way I'm gonna do this all day. So let's talk about the mistakes that people do in general while trimming and snipping their flowers. The first one would be touching their flowers too much and removing all the trichromes. I suggest strongly that you avoid touching too much your flowers. Hold them at the bottom on the little branch that comes out of it and trim them delicately. Don't press too much your scissors on the flower as well, otherwise the trichromes will be sticking on your scissors and won't be on your flower anymore. If you're shaking a little bit, you can put your finger here to make it better, up,
okay.
And the leaves falls down. Again, I see a little branch here, I cut it up, and then after you end up with a nice round bud. Even right. This one you could have removed it.
Small leaves.
Yes, you have to remove them because see, it looks like a little bit of hair. You want to have like a nug that look like a nuggets, pretty much. You don't want to see anything like that is weird around, as like look like a kind of spaghetti. Tyne got the hang of it pretty quickly. Make sure you don't leave any leaves and you want a clear and beautiful nuggets. So also one thing that is important is try not to touch too much your flowers with your finger. Why? Because the trichromes, remember those trichromes? They're the ones that are sticky. And if you put your fingers all around your flowers, guess what? Your trichromes is gonna migrate on your fingers and you're not gonna have trichromes anymore on your flower. So that's why I always like put my fingers at the bottom. The most important with flowers, once you trim them, is to make sure they're curing. The curing process is pretty simple. You put your flowers into a jar and the process of curing will start. It means the air of the jar will be filled up with terpenes, and every molecule will start to move. There is one thing that we do, it's called burping. Burping is about coming and opening pretty much every day for about 10 minutes your jar, so you renew the air inside the jar. The humidity comes out, the air comes out, so that helps really increasing your curing process. It's like pretty much like wine. There is a right way to doing it, but thanks God we have those little humidity bags, and those humidity bags, in case I forget to burp, they will give me a little bit of buffer. So I strongly advise to use humidity bags if you cannot burp every day over the next 2 weeks. Whenever you open the jar and you feel that your flower, they're a little bit like spongy, this is not good. Your flowers need to be the right way. It means slightly crispy on the external and a little bit spongy inside. If it's too spongy even on the external aspect, it means there is too much humidity. That's why you need to open your jar, let the air recycle and close it, and do the same the next day. So we're about to get there. Our jar is almost getting full. So one thing I also advise is just fill up your jar 3/4 full. Why? To allow some air and some space, just to make sure your burping is gonna happen well, like your curing process. If your jar is full of flowers, one thing is gonna happen is you're not gonna have enough air to do some exchange, and everything will turn humid all the time. So that's why 3/4 of a jar with your flower not super packed is the best way to keep your flowers for a curing process.
So together we've been through how to select the seeds, the one that suits you the best, how to germinate it, how to do your transplant, how to install your equipment, and how to use your nutrients. Growing cannabis can be an endless topic. There is so many things that can be explored, from the seeds to the products to what you can do after with your cannabis, like hashish or extractions. And there is many things that we're gonna talk about in the next series.
So thank you guys for watching. That's now the end of the season number 2 of The Perfect Grower. And please consider subscribing, and see you in season number 3.